There are two basic ways to live your life. There is spending, and then there's investment. There is the present, and then there's the future. There are all these different ways you get to spend your time. We have a finite set of resources, but the amazing thing is we have those resources and we can either choose to upgrade them or spend them, right? Or just simply let them sit, right? Waste them. So we're going to focus for this video, we're going to focus on either spending or investing, doing things in the now for pleasure, or doing difficult things in the hopes of a more prosperous future. So we're going to start off with the fun one. We're going to start off by saying, I want to live my life right now. I don't want to do anything that's not fun, something I don't enjoy. So if there's something I want to do, I'm going to go do it, right? You want to go to a party, go to a party. You want to buy something expensive, go buy it if I have enough money in my account or in my credit. Many people do that, right? So live beyond their means, but technically it is within their means. They're just being punished via interest, and that's their choice. It's not necessarily a bad financial move. It just depends on your goals. So that's that idea. And the awesome thing about this is that you get to be doing whatever you want, whenever you want, without restraint, without worry. Just say, these are my options. This is the one that's the most interesting to me. The thing I think I want to do the most. We all know what that is. We all know what is going to be the most enjoyable in the moment. Right? We can all immediately pick one thing. So that's that idea. Now, and then there's investment, which is the complete opposite. It's the idea of, well, I have all this time and I could spend it like the previous way, but my resources are just going to be constantly drained. I won't be able to invest them because there's none left, right? So this other idea is that I can just work my life away in the hopes of a better future with the things that I save and allow to compound. So these are the people that work their life away, the people that keep saying, I'll be happy when I have this, right? I'm going to do this until tomorrow. And at that point, I'll give myself some slack. And just to put as just a note, there is no right or wrong way to live as long as you're not negatively affecting people. There is no right or wrong way to live. It's your choice. This is your life. I'm not going to tell you, and no one else has the right to tell you you should do this, you should do that, right? So it's up to what you think is best, what your priorities are, and what you care about. Okay. So spender, investor. Now, while there is benefits to investing and saying, well, if I work really hard, I work on my career, I work on my education, I advance my skill set, and I build my value as a person so I can receive more value in return. That allows you to gain access to bigger and better things, right? We can stay at a 9 to 5 and make the same salary for the rest of our lives and do the same thing that we do extremely well for the rest of our lives. Or we can invest our time pushing ourselves and developing more skills that allow us to do more complex and useful things. And with more utility comes more value and more compensation. Okay? So it may be difficult. You may not have a productive passion. You may not be able to find a way to monetize that passion. And a lot of people are in that situation. I know I felt like I was in that situation before. Honestly, I didn't really have a passion. All I knew was I have to do something. This is my life and I refuse to compromise. If I see something, I want to be able to have it. right? And everything is give and take. And I won't be able to not invest any of my time, but still enjoy all the things that these compounded resources provide. So it's all options. So if we keep investing, but not living our lives, well, we're going to have the resources to live our lives, but we're never going to be there because it's always the next day. And if you always focus on, I'm going to do what I want now, you're never going to be able to build the resources to be able to do bigger, more expensive things. So, what I've found is that we need to use a hybrid of these two ideologies. We need to balance depending on our desires, how big our desires are. Obviously, if you want to be a millionaire, you're going to work fairly hard unless you get lucky. To sustainably be a millionaire and live that millionaire lifestyle throughout the rest of your life, once you get to that point, it takes a lot of investment. If you take that to being a billionaire, much more difficult because you have much more resources, right? Everything is input and output. The more input you give, the more output you will receive. And typically, getting more input in means more time, more effort, more pressure, more risk, all of that. Pressure makes diamonds, but not all of us really care about diamonds. We may be fine with artificial. Most of us can't tell the difference, and that's fine. So I think what is best is to figure out what you want to do with your life. What are your goals? What car you want to drive? What house you want? What house you want to drive. I've never seen a driving house. I'm sure it exists somewhere, but I don't know about your lifestyle. But I do not have a motorized house, right? Where am I going with this? So let's refocus. You need to decide and get as in depth as possible. Who do you want to be as a person? What car do you want to drive? What clothes do you want to wear? What do you want to have in a partner? What does your friend group look like? What does your network look like? What does your bank account look like? All of these things. And then you need to find out, well, this is my output, this is my result, this is my goal. What inputs do I need to put in to make that happen, right? So you start doing research, you say, well, there's a million different ways to get to the same result. It just takes direction and strategy. So figure out what you want. Figure out it's never going to be surefire, but find a way that as closely as possible guarantees you get what you want within the time frame you want. And then slowly refine that because there's going to be blind spots that we don't initially see. We're going to have to pivot multiple times. We're going to have to adjust ourselves for maybe new resources that we've collected or losses that we've experienced that make us have to do different things and work with different situations. So with that, if we invest all our time and all our resources into the future, our future will never exist because it's the future, not the present. So we need to find a balance to align the amount of time we have each day. For me, I'm more work oriented. I love my work. I love building my skill sets. My joy doesn't come from screwing around typically. I have my moments, of course, we all do. But typically, I enjoy educating myself and learning new things, understanding how the world works. And luckily for me, that is also beneficial to the world because I can share what I know and what I can do with the world in return for compensation. So I'd say 60% of my life is, roughly, of course, is me doing what I'd consider investment, but also something I still get to enjoy as well. The rest, say 40, is not productive, but it allows me to decompress and allows me to have some time myself and recharge, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. The the grind culture, grind set, whatever bullshit we're feeding our children, um, it can work temporarily, but it's not sustainable. You can have weeks or months where you just limit everything else and invest all your time in the pursuit of your goal. But life is a long run. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you need to distribute your resources properly without losing them entirely, right? So you can still generate it. Make sure you have a little bit just in case of other things you may need to handle, and just manage your life effectively. That's what it comes down to. So the best way to live is know your goals, know realistically what you need to do, and be prepared to change your strategy. And you may even change what you want. That's most likely. um, I believe the statistic is, at least in America, 60% of graduates, um, maybe even people who attend college, not necessarily graduates, undergraduates and graduates, end up not working in the industry that their major focused on. So we will spend tens of thousands of dollars just to say, this isn't what I want, and then pivot to something completely different. So you have to be ready for that. And it also helps to really look into what you're investing in before you jump all in. Stick your toe in the water before you jump in, because there might be a shark in there. So just have critical thinking skills. Be able to understand your environment, understand your resources, and align them with your goals as best as you can while allowing flexibility, right? If you go down a path and don't know, we don't have a roadmap. None of us has a roadmap to what we want, because our destination changes, and there's fog, and there is the curvature of the earth that doesn't allow us to see all the way to our destination. So we need to go in the general direction so that our path is discovered and we can adjust as needed. So focus on the now. Focus in the now to get to the future goal, and adjust as needed. Adjust as you obtain more knowledge, as you get farther down that path and realize there may be some other things you need to manage. Maybe there's construction. Maybe there is a road that's so rough that your car cannot handle it. A path that's so difficult that you really don't think you're capable of doing that, or you don't think that the value you will obtain from the effort you'll put in is worth it. So look at all these things. It's simple, but it's hard. The overall idea, your guide to life, is objective, plan, and then constant adjustment and optimization. So that's my message. I didn't deliver it as effectively. Well, I'm sure I got my point across, but I didn't do it as articulately as I want to. And, looking at my life, I'm doing these videos to work on my speaking skills. And there's things that I'm doing right now that I'm going to look at 2 years from now and say, I should have done these things. This would have accelerated my ability to learn and become a better speaker faster. And as I watch this video I'm recording right now, in the future, I'll look at the things I did right, the things I improved on, as well as the things I did wrong. And I'll make that adjustment. I'll take note of it, and I will take a different path, focus on different things. So it's simple. It really is. And I hope that people have the maturity to not waste their life, because the reality of instant gratification and immediate pleasure is that you devalue something the more you have of it. Some of the most profitable businesses rely on scarcity. If you look at Ferrari, Ferrari gets to charge 4 times more for a supercar than Corvette does, simply because they make less units. They are more desirable as they are harder to obtain. Even though they may have the same benefits, it's different. I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah. But yeah, I probably should have ended this video 3 minutes ago. This is not one of my best performances. I'm trying this new way of speaking. Instead of standing up, I'm in a chair. I'm at my desk, trying to look more directly at my camera. I hope I'm looking at the right lens. May not be. We'll figure that out later. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up because at this point I'm just rambling, and I'm sure you understand my point now. Thank you for watching and witnessing my underdeveloped speaking skills. I appreciate you watching this far and putting up with my incompetency. I promise to improve. This is my 3rd day of consistently posting a video, 1 video per day, about 5 to 20 minutes. This one's probably going to be one of my longest so far. So all I have to say is thank you for watching. If you'd like to join me on this journey, go ahead and subscribe. If you don't think my video should be shown to others, dislike it. That's up to you. That's your opinion, and that's why those buttons are there. Either way, wish you the best. Thank you for investing your time in me, and have an amazing day.